a quick overview of the cage. As you can see, it is very large, and this is one of the things that I like the most about this cage. It doesn't have a storage rack at the bottom, so that really allows the entire space of the cage to be taken up by space for your chinchillas. So I will put the measurements up on the screen right now for this cage because I've forgotten them. But as you can see, it is a very, very large cage, which is a huge plus with chinchillas. This cage is also expandable, so you can buy just the single level, which is this part. You can get the double level, and then you can also purchase more single levels to go on top or to go to the side. So this is an expandable cage similar to the Critter Nation or Ferret Nation cages. Another thing I love about this cage is that it is completely metal, which is great with animals such as chinchillas that can't have plastic. So I'll just show you now. Look at Cleo, she's so cute. She jump out. So the pans are metal. These are very deep pans. They are quite deep, which is good for the chinchillas because they don't burrow or anything, but their poop can sometimes obviously fall out the cage, and this really helps keep everything inside, which I love. So these pans are metal, and so is everything in the cage. The cage also comes with 4 levels, similar to this one. Well, it is like this one. And it comes with 4 of these, which I only put 1 in my cage, and 4 wire ladders. Now, if you are going to use the wire ladders for your chinchillas, they will need to be covered. Cleo just jumped out the hammock. They will need to be covered. That is just something to keep in mind. Look how cute she is. Little scratch. So next I wanted to talk about the fastening method. Now it has one that's similar to this, it works quite easily. Now, I think it is meant to be, I don't really know. The fastening is kind of confusing to me because when I first got the cage, it was similar to this where it would stop halfway down. And I think that's what it's meant to be like. But this, I think the screws might have loosened or something. But it still is just as secure. And it does feel quite secure like this, especially with chinchillas that are quite big animals. There's also fastening at the top, which is just a push up, and that feels secure. And then there's a little tabby thing here which also stops it. But to be fair, if you keep the tab, even if you undo both the top ones, there's still like not a massive gap, and your chinchilla couldn't escape. But obviously it's still better to secure these. So that is the fastening, and that has been very secure. I haven't had them open it. That can be the issue with some other fastening with chinchillas. They are quite smart animals, and so they can sometimes figure out, especially if it's not like a locking mechanism, but if it's like a flap or something, they can figure out how to open it. But this always seems very secure, so happy with that. Next, I will talk about the one big downfall of this cage. The bars. Now the bars are a really good spacing for chinchillas. I don't have an issue with the bar spacing. The issue I have was the bar durability. Now these thicker bars are good, they've never broken or anything. These thinner bars, they are durable, but I have some ledges. I have a couple of snapped bars here where I've put ledges, and they have been on just the thinner bars, and the bars have actually snapped. So I've also had it, I'll show you a snapped bar right here. This bar is like snapped because of this ledge here. So this is the only downfall for me with this cage. It's definitely not a big issue. I can, because you have these thicker bars in like a grid, so you can just put the ledges on the thicker bars, but it's just something to be aware of. They are a bit thinner, and I think some people have also had this issue with the Critter Nation, I believe, the one with the thinner bars. So that is just something to be aware of if you are going to buy this cage. Use the thicker bars, because these thin bars, they are pretty sturdy, especially vertically, but there's just something to be aware of if you're going to put ledges and things, because your chinchillas might snap the bars. Now with the actual pan itself, because of these high ridges, the high sides, it does mean that I have to use the fleece insert type fleece liner instead of the pillowcase style, and I would rather use the pillowcase style just because the chinchillas can and do frequently kind of move it, and I have to put it back all the time, which isn't that annoying. It's just a little thing, as well as obviously there's like a hole, so I have to have a hole in it, and sometimes they can push it in, like the hole and stuff. So that's the thing. Only bad thing about the deep sides is I can't use the pillowcase style fleece liner, but I'm sure if you were to use loose bedding it wouldn't be so much of an issue. So yeah. Hi. Yeah. Hi. Do you want to say hi? Do you want to say hi to your friends? Oh. Now, as you guys have probably seen, I love the colour of this cage, and that is something that initially really attracted me to the cage. The mocha colour really blends in well with my house and the way everything looks, which I love. That was one of the main reasons why I bought this cage, was because of the colour. I think it's just really nice colour, to be honest. Really like the colour. It does look different in person to on camera. It is slightly darker brown, which I actually like more than the colour that is on camera, because the colour on camera looks kind of goldy, but in real life it is quite a dark brown, mocha coffee kind of colour. But yeah, love the colour. That's one of the main reasons why I bought the cage, because of the colour. Now, if we talk about cost, that is one of the big negatives to this cage again. It is more on the pricey side. You can buy this at lots of different price points as well, so I can't give you a specific price that I paid because it costs so much different amounts depending on where you buy the cage. It costs £280-ish, nearly £300, so it is more of a pricey cage, and that is something to keep in mind. It is really big. It's not significantly more expensive than the Crittonation, so, you know, but it is more pricey. You can find it at lots of different price points, and you can also buy it secondhand. So the cost, but you know, it is a more expensive cage, and the cost is fairly high. You can definitely find cheaper chinchilla cages on the market, and obviously a lot of those cages are perfectly fine, so you could use that. The final thing I'll say about this cage is the solid metal ceiling. You can kind of see up there, it is solid metal, which isn't too much of an issue for me, because with chinchillas I can just put loads of ledges around the sides. It's not too much of an issue, but it's something to keep in mind. If you did want to hang hammocks or anything, it would be slightly more difficult on this side, on the flat side of the cage. You could perhaps put a magnetic hooks or something. I'm not sure how well that would work, but that could be something that you could do if you wanted to hang hammocks, although I don't find the need to hang hammocks too great, because I have the top level with the bars at the top, so not too much of an issue for me, but you could always do magnetic hooks or something like that if you wanted to. The final thing is cleaning. It is a fairly easy cage to clean. There's just a few things, like behind these bars, it can be quite hard to clean. I do need to clean this again behind the little bars because of the ridges. That can be a little harder to clean, but overall it is quite an easy cage to clean. It's not that hard. No, it's not. Having the insert style liner does make it slightly harder to clean, because there's like things that kind of will fall like over, and the liner will get moved and stuff by the chins, but it's not that harder.